This episode of Brains on Games is about a word game that's all about making connections. Welcome to Brains on Games. I'm Dr. Brian McDonald, and this episode, like I said, we're going to talk about a word game that combines words and definitions with dominoes, sort of. Mark over at Brainy Games was kind enough to send me a copy of Sidelinks. Sidelinks is a game that you can play with between 2 and 5 players. It works with kids age 8 and older, and you can play a game in about 25 minutes. Let's take a look at Sidelinks. I'll fill you in on what this is all about. You can see here that in the box, we've got a scoring card and a pencil, but you've also got a whole bunch of these cards. And the way the table will be set up at the beginning is with 4 cards and a plus sign like that. Each player is going to have 5 of their own cards like this to add to this tableau. You're trying to make connections between the words on your cards and the words here on the table. That's where it's sort of like dominoes, I think. And so you're using those verbal reasoning skills. In fact, that's one of the ways that we measure your verbal problem-solving skills when we're doing psychological assessments, is the ability to make connections between concepts. Now, what you're trying to do in this game is play the words on your cards to make as many links as possible with the words that are on the table. It can be a bit challenging at the beginning because there are fewer choices, but for example, you might play, let me see, I've got some cards here that I pulled out already. You might play a card like this right here in this corner. Now here, the link between coal and energy, pretty clear. You probably won't need to sell the players on that. That would net you 6 points. But if you can link another word, then you're going to be able to add on extra points. So here, door and animal. That's where some verbal expression comes in, your debate skills and being able to explain your ideas. You're not just linking the ideas, you might need to convince the other players that that link is valid. If you can't convince them, you have to remove the card and draw a fresh one. Your turn is done. But if I was able to convince my opponents that animal door could go together because you might want to have a cat door in your house to let the cats go in and out, then I could obtain points for that link as well, which would mean 6 points here. You add the 4 and the 2, 3 points for this link, 2 plus 1, and then you double it because you've linked 2 words. If you manage to link 3 words, you triple your total score. And if you link 4 somehow, if you're able to put one in the middle and can convince the other players that all of those links work, then you get to multiply your score by 10. So that's a huge advantage for you if you're able to make more connections. The game will end once you've used up your 5 cards or once someone runs out of cards. If you can't find a link, you just draw another card. And like I said, if you play a link that's invalid, you have to discard that one and draw another card. And there you have it. Sidelinks in a nutshell. A verbal reasoning game where you're making connections between words and concepts, and a verbal expression game where you might be having to explain some of those more tenuous links and make connections that are a little more ambiguous. Thanks again to Mark from Brainy Games for sending this along, and I'll put some links in these show notes so that you can track Mark down if you're interested in more information about Sidelinks. If you want to get in touch with me, if you have any questions or suggestions, you can find me at brian@brainsongames.ca. Brainsongames.ca is the website. That's where future episodes will be posted, and the previous episodes are up there too. Brains on Games is the Twitter handle and the Facebook page and the Instagram feed, so we're all over the place. And if you enjoyed this video and you'd like to be notified of future ones, you can head on over to YouTube and click that subscribe button. Thanks for joining me, and hopefully I'll see you next time.